Yeah, I solo Bolo pro players. I do that sometimes. No big deal. Hello, I'm the Thebausffs. Today I'm gonna be ranking the top Sion plays sent in by you guys, the viewers. Let's get this started.
There's an arcane shift available, we know it. Waiting is TheShy, the Iceborne coming in handy.
Tank Sion always gets.
So long. Can he get it? TheShy.
Oh wait, it's a close one.
He dodges from the Mystic Shot. What is this outplay? TheShy.
Oh my god, and he gets it. He gets the solo Bolo. Impressive stuff. This is kind of what I'm talking about. This is Tank Sion in a nutshell. He's kind of brute forcing him down. But it is a good juke on the Q there. And then flash. It's a clean play. I'll give it to him. This is a clean play. It's very well done by him. You know, seeing the circumstances, I'd say like I don't want to give TheShy a hard time here. He's a great player. You know, he came to EU West one time and he played solo queue against me and he went 25-1 versus me. I went 0-15 or something like that. It was bad. I solo lost the game, so he's not a bad player. That play on the other hand, he dodged what? He dodged 1 Q and he barely did anything impressive himself. I'm gonna put him on C tier. Not an impressive player at all. My most favorite Sion matchup in the top lane for many years was Sion versus Fiora. And now if you have a little bit of knowledge about the game and how it works, you might think to yourself, Bows, Fiora destroys tanks. She destroys tanks. Yes, but Fiora Sion matchup has always been a little bit skill based in the way that her main way to beat you is to parry your Q, and your main way to beat her is to not get your Q parried. So it's a little bit of mind games. That's why I've always kind of liked playing the Fiora matchup, because you have to play the mind games and you have to trick her into parrying, and then you have to know when she's gonna parry. So that's been my favorite matchup for a long time. Nowadays, well, in the last season, you just kind of get rolled over. So nowadays I probably like the Malphite matchup, because that's the easiest matchup. The toughest matchup for Sion, or I guess the most unfun, would have to be Yone. You know, there's not a single soul in the world that likes that champion. Riot needs to seriously remove it, nerf it to the ground, get rid of the champion. Nobody likes Yone. The reason why it's so annoying for Sion is because Sion is very reliant on hitting the Q. Q gets easily dodged by dashes and CCs. And if you start to count up the amount of dashes and CCs that a Yone has, there's a lot of them. That's why I don't like the matchup. He has too many dashes. A Sion play, BrokenBlade is playing him. I really like BrokenBlade.
G2, now can they get out of this one?
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That's exactly what you want to see. Single-handedly wins them the fight. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, let me just rewatch that real quick. See what kind of wards they're working with. See, they see the LeBlanc, you know, the weapon, so they see the vision. So it's like big brain move coming out here from Broken. Really big brain, really big brain. It's like, okay, this is the play, and it's like works out perfectly. Amazing. That's kind of the thing with Sion is because, especially versus a champion like LeBlanc, with a lot of dashes and very mobility heavy champion. So what with Sion you gotta do, it's exactly what BrokenBlade did there, is you have to prepare the Q for them to dash into it, you feel me? Like, prediction, you need to predict them into getting into your Q, and it was just beautifully played. Like, I wouldn't even be able to do it myself, you know? I'm gonna have to put that in S, maybe Demon tier, but I'm gonna put it in S, because I want to keep the Demon tier in case something better shows up. The Lumberjack skin on Sion is a must. If you're gonna play that champion, you have to go that skin. It is by far the best. And here's the thing, Bows, surely if it's the best skin, it's probably a little bit pricey then. No, it's literally the cheapest Sion skin. It's 520 RP, it's cheap as hell. and it by far it looks the best, it has the cleanest animations, it's just the best concept, the best splash art, it is just a perfect skin. You're literally a lumberjack. Okay, what do we got here? See the Sion on the right side there. Oh, I think I've seen this before. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Oh yes. He got a quadra? Damn, okay. You know, usually when a Sion makes a play like that, there's some stupid AD carry who steals all the kills. I'm really happy that the Sion was the one who got all the kills. But if we just rewatched it, it was beautifully played, beautifully played. You have to watch in the detail, right? Look at the Sion movement. He walks down, and then as soon as he's in fog of war, so they can't see him, he starts channeling the Q into the flash ult. Oh, it was so beautifully played. The idea is that with Sion's Q, you always need to be in fog of war. That way, they're gonna run into it, like it happened in that play. So this was just a beautiful play. This is exactly how I would play it out. It's like almost as if he gets a demon tier, honestly, because like that is exactly how I would play out the fight. Exactly how I would play it out. And he's probably the only person in pro history that has gone a quadra with Sion. It's a demon. I don't know who this guy is, but hey, he's a demon. What do I think of Sion Support? Listen, the strongest part about Sion is his W. And you might be thinking, Bows, his shield? Nah, I'm talking about the W passive. Okay, what does the W passive? The W passive gives you 4 health for every minion you kill, which is ridiculously OP. So, me personally, I don't like Sion Support. I think Sion Support is really weak because you're not utilizing that W passive, because you're not farming, right? So I would actually put Sion's weakest role in support. And then again, he's a very CC heavy champion, you know. You can probably make it work if you really want to. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, look at the minimap. Vizicsacsi is coming in. Oh! Oh, beautiful drifting. And this was what, the finals? Quarterfinals, you know, the nerves are there. You gotta make that play. Listen, I've been there. I've been there when, you know, yeah, I'm not saying I've been playing the playoffs, but I've had high stake games. You know, maybe I'm playing with a high profile pro player like Faker, and we're looking at the drift here on the map. Look at the map. This is not an easy drift to do, and if you have the pressure on you, you can really mess up and drive into a wall. So the fact that he was able to make that happen, you know, I don't want to be that guy, but you could have of course made it a little bit better. As the expert, you don't have to crash into this wall. You can get all the way into Baron Pit if you do it. But hey, it was good. It was good enough. Then of course he did a weak Q here. He could have fully charged here and got a knockup. But hey, I'm just saying, you know. I think this was the first drifting clip that we got, where you have to use your ulti to go a long distance, and you know, going through the jungle can be a hard time. You definitely can't first time it. First timing is very hard, so this guy definitely has some practice doing it. Not a bad play, not a bad play. There was some misplays. Nah, not really. I'm gonna have to put it. The thing is, this play happened a while ago, right? For it to happen a while ago, it's impressive, because every single year players are getting better and better. So I'll give you an example. If you see a Lee Sin insect someone right now, you wouldn't think too much of it. But back in the days, and you saw Insect make that play for the first time, it was like crazy impressive. And that's why, because Vizicsacsi, because this happened a while ago, and it was like an impressive drift, I'm gonna put him on S tier. It was a really good play. Oh, I recognize this. Push the W on the thing and then pushes it in. Oh, you know, wow, wow. They've been practicing that. You can tell they have been practicing that move. Mikyx is one of my close friends actually. I really like Mikyx as a player. I might even be a little bit biased here and give him an extra tier that he doesn't deserve. But that play was I feel so bad. Everyone is up here and then TheShy is down here. But yeah, Mikyx, that was a beautiful play. And the thing with that play is it was a one of a kind. The first ever to do it. We had never seen such a play like that happen in pro play before. You know, getting 5-man charge Qs. You can perfect those and get those, and you can get a nice drift. But we've seen that before, and you can just get them, but better. This was a one-in-a-kind play, and this was the first time we saw this type of play with Sion. So that in itself, like maybe even Demon, but that would just be because I like Mickey. I'm gonna be non-biased here and put him in S tier. I was part of G2 that 1 year. I was part of G2, and I remember when I went to Berlin for a visit into the G2 gaming house. I was like, come on guys, let's think of a Sion draft, please. And you know, you could tell they were like, who is this solo queue dog player telling us? I was like, come on guys, let's get Sion going. I really wanted to try and get them to play Sion. That year, of course, they didn't do it. So I don't think I had any influence. I just think they thought I was a disgusting inter who was disturbing their practice. But I have given Mickey some tips and tricks. I do believe I have given him some tips and tricks here and there. I hate watching my own clips, but oh well. Gotta do it, I guess. If I don't believe this was a Korean pro player coming to EU for Worlds. Huge. There it is. Yeah, that was supposedly Khan coming to EU. You know. Yeah, I solo Bolo pro players. I do that sometimes. no big deal. Let's rewatch this if I actually did anything impressive. Probably just. Yeah, juke out on the Q a little bit, sure, but make sure I don't get hit by anything. Mostly just weaves in the autos and gets him. I'm gonna be honest, I've done better plays. I've done better plays in my days. There's no picture of Thebausffs here. If I could put me on the tier list, this play in particular, I'd put it down in C or B. Of course, I don't have that many achievements like Khan has. Khan is considered like a legendary player in the pro scene, right? So for a solo queue player like me to solo kill Khan, of course that's a big deal in my life, and it's a big deal for my little silly community. A simple solo queue player like me can beat a legend like that. Of course, is a big deal. Of course, one thing we didn't pay attention to is prior to this play, I'm 0-2, so I'm obviously losing. But yeah, fun little solo Bolo that I guess helped me boost my career. That I was able to kill a pro player. But yeah, I don't think I did anything impressive now. Right? No, I remember that. I remember Khan. He solo kills me. Like, so there's this guy. You know, I've looked up to this, or you know, I look up to a lot of pro players. He's this legendary top laner, right? Absolute crazy pro player that you can't but respect this guy. And then you see him in solo queue, and then he solo kills you, and then he writes solo Bolo in all chat. Like I did not feel like that was messed up, man. So yeah, I guess I got him back then. I didn't even know he knew who I was back then, but apparently he did. Right. Yeah, no. I mean, it's really when it comes to pro players, you know, they have a very like one-sided gameplay, I guess, because my gameplay I tend to feed a little bit. Oops, you know, enemy top laner might be a little bit fed with my gameplay. So it's really a hit or miss if you like it or not. Either you're like Ruler, who's like, dude, me and Ruler, we were so close, we were so tight with each other. We would love talking with each other in game when we got with each other. And he was just an amazing guy. He really liked me and I really liked him. And then we have people like what's that world? Doinby. Doinby did not like me. Doinby did not like me at all. He called me an inter, man. So it's really a hit or miss if you like the gameplay or not. I think because it's such a very different type of playstyle that makes it like hard to ignore. It's like, why is there Sion? Why is there a Sion in my base proxying? This is annoying. We gotta go deal with him. Yeah, it's like a playstyle you can't really ignore in a way. Yeah, I mean, either you like it or you not. I've had good and bad experience with pro players, but for the most part, a good. Thank you so much for sending in these plays. This has been the end of the video. Thanks for having me. If you wanna see Razork's ultimate list, click the video here. Other than that, guys, that's all you're gonna get from me. I hope you have a good rest of the night, and goodbye.